Welcome to Dark Side of History channel, where the untold stories of the past come to life. So don't forget to subscribe and uncover the mysteries with
Euphonia Speaking Machine Innovation. Joseph Faber built the remarkable Euphonia device in 1846, combining piano keys, bellows, and a mechanical throat to replicate human speech sounds. This incredible invention amazed audiences by producing recognizable words and sentences through purely mechanical means, decades before Edison's phonograph. The speaking machine represented early attempts to create artificial human communication and laid groundwork for modern voice synthesis technology. London Post Office Animal Mailing Service. London post offices in 1938 allowed people to mail deceased animals as an unusual part of postal history and service offerings. This strange postal service reflected different attitudes towards animal remains and the flexibility of mail systems before modern regulations. The animal mailing service showed how postal systems adapted to serve unusual customer needs during less regulated times. French knife sharpeners' work position. French knife sharpeners in 1902 would lie down on the ground during their work to protect themselves from metal dust and debris. This unusual working position allowed them to avoid breathing harmful particles while using grinding wheels to sharpen knives and tools. The lying position represented how traditional craftsmen developed practical techniques to protect their health before modern safety equipment existed. New York skyscraper beam lunch break. Workers constructing New York skyscrapers in the 1920s famously ate their lunch while sitting on steel beams hundreds of feet above the city streets. These fearless construction workers balanced on narrow beams without safety equipment while enjoying their meals during building construction. The beam lunch represented the incredible courage and casual attitude toward danger that early skyscraper builders displayed daily. World War I facial reconstruction surgery. Pioneering doctors performed groundbreaking facial reconstruction surgeries on soldiers who suffered terrible injuries during World War I trench warfare. These medical innovations helped restore function and appearance to men whose faces were destroyed by shrapnel, bullets, and explosions. The facial reconstruction represented how medical science advanced rapidly to address the new types of injuries caused by modern warfare. Civil War surgery without anesthesia. Private Roland Ward underwent multiple painful surgeries during the American Civil War, many performed without anesthesia when medical supplies were scarce. This brave soldier endured incredible pain as doctors worked to save his life using primitive surgical techniques and limited pain relief. The surgery experience represented the medical challenges and human suffering that characterized Civil War battlefield medicine. Orgone accumulator energy device. A woman sat inside an orgone accumulator device in 1951 designed to capture and concentrate mysterious life energy called orgone, according to its inventor. This controversial contraption was promoted as a health treatment that could cure various ailments through exposure to concentrated life force. The energy device represented pseudoscientific medical treatments that attracted desperate patients seeking miracle cures for serious illnesses. Smallpox medical documentation photography. Dr. George Henry Fox photographed smallpox effects in 1902 to document the disease for medical advancement and education purposes. These clinical photographs provided valuable visual evidence of smallpox symptoms to help doctors learn diagnosis and treatment methods. The medical documentation represented how photography became an important tool for advancing medical knowledge and training healthcare professionals. World War I gas mask rescue dogs. Red Cross rescue dogs wore specially designed gas masks to locate wounded soldiers on battlefields during chemical weapon attacks. These brave animals risked their lives to find injured men in dangerous areas where poison gas made rescue work extremely hazardous. The gas mask dogs represented how animals served alongside humans in warfare while facing the same deadly threats from modern weapons. Italian Alps mountain troops' courage. Italian troops in the Alps raised their weapons alongside a military dog in 1915, showing resilience and courage during mountain warfare. These soldiers fought in extremely difficult terrain and weather conditions while defending their mountainous homeland against enemy forces. The mountain troops represented how geography shaped military tactics and required special adaptations for fighting in harsh environments. World War I messenger dogs communication. Brave messenger dogs leaped over trenches in 1917 to deliver vital information between military positions during World War I combat. These trained animals carried important messages when telephone lines were cut and human messengers couldn't survive the dangerous battlefield conditions. The messenger dogs represented how animals provided essential communication services when modern technology failed during intense combat. TWA Air Hostess Professional Requirements. TWA airline candidates in 1945 had to be trained nurses with strict height and weight criteria to work as air hostesses. These professional requirements reflected the era's emphasis on medical training and physical appearance for airline customer service positions. The hostess requirements represented how the aviation industry created demanding standards for employees in the glamorous world of commercial flight. Ohio Aerial Stunt Entertainment. Pilots in Ohio performed breathtaking aerial stunts in the 1920s, defying gravity and thrilling audiences as popular entertainment at air shows. These daredevil aviators risked their lives to amaze crowds with dangerous maneuvers in fragile aircraft without modern safety equipment. The aerial stunt represented how early aviation combined practical flying skills with theatrical entertainment to promote public interest in aircraft. Louis Armstrong Nice Autograph Session. Legendary trumpeter Louis Armstrong was photographed signing an autograph for a fan in Nice, France, in 1961. This intimate moment showed the jazz master's continued popularity and willingness to connect with fans during his international touring career. The autograph session represented how great musicians maintained personal connections with audiences despite their worldwide fame and busy schedules. The Wizard of Oz silent film version. A silent version of The Wizard of Oz was produced in 1910, bringing Dorothy's magical story to audiences decades before the famous 1939 classic film. This early adaptation had a creepy atmosphere that differed dramatically from the later colorful musical version that became legendary. The silent version represented how beloved stories were adapted multiple times using different technologies and artistic approaches. Polish boy Warsaw air raid aftermath. A Polish boy sat where his house once stood after a German air raid destroyed his neighborhood in Warsaw in 1939. This tragic scene showed the human cost of warfare on innocent civilians, especially children who lost their homes and families. The bombed houseboy represented the countless civilian victims of World War II who suffered from military attacks on cities. Hitler's food taster protection duty. Margit Wolk served as one of Hitler's food tasters during World War II, testing every meal for poison before the Nazi leader ate. This dangerous job required her to risk death daily to protect Hitler from assassination attempts through poisoned food. The food taster duty represented the extreme paranoia and security measures that surrounded Nazi leadership during wartime. Battle of Berlin, civilian survival. Amid the devastation of Berlin's destruction, German civilians tried to continue their daily lives as their city lay in ruins around them. These survivors navigated bombed streets and destroyed buildings while searching for food, shelter, and missing family members. The civilian survival represented the resilience of ordinary people who endured the collapse of their world during warfare. USS Enterprise pilot fire rescue. A Navy pilot trapped in his burning aircraft after a crash landing on USS Enterprise was saved by brave ground crew members who pulled him from the flames. This dramatic rescue showed the dangers of carrier aviation and the courage of deck crews who risked their lives to save fellow servicemen during combat. The fire rescue represented the teamwork and bravery that characterized naval aviation operations during combat. Tower of London Victory Gardens. The grounds of the Tower of London were converted to community allotments for food production during World War II rationing and food shortages. These victory gardens helped feed London residents while utilizing historic spaces for practical wartime needs rather than ceremonial purposes. The Tower Gardens represented how communities adapted historic locations to serve essential needs during national emergencies. USS Yorktown Crew Abandonment. The crew of USS Yorktown prepared to abandon their damaged aircraft carrier in 1942 after intense Pacific combat left the ship unable to continue fighting. This desperate moment came during crucial naval battles when every ship was vital to stopping Japanese expansion across the Pacific. The ship abandonment represented the sacrifice of valuable military equipment to save human lives during brutal naval warfare. St. Paul's Cathedral